you've also sort of started down the path of Brandon Saad, which is an interesting one to me. Like, I'd like to see the Canucks get creative and use their cap space in different ways rather than just going out and going for volume signings like they did on July 1st last year, because I think we agree that last July 1st was a complete flop. When you look at the return on the investment, when you look at the number of players, I mean, Burmistrov and Rodin both walked away. Weirkoch never got a chance. We know the Gagne story. Del Zotto played all 82 games, but, you know, at what cost in terms of the development of younger guys behind him? And Anders Nilsson, you know, that's another story in and of itself. Like, so they can go back into the open market on July 1st with all this money and spend it, but I'm not sure that I have full confidence that they'll spend it effectively. But I think, and if they were to trade Tanev, that would free up some more space as well. Like, I'd like to see them pursue the trade angle, and that's when I heard you mention Brandon Saad. Like, I got intrigued there because, A, I like the player, but I also think there are some ways that the Canucks could go about making a deal like that happen that I would consider creative, that would be a good use of their cap space rather than just throwing bad money after marginal players.
Yeah, like Saad would be that would be a sly, slick move for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm not sure that Bowman would be willing to do it. You know, and I've made the point of the trade when they gave up Panarin to get him, who's kind of turned into a star. I think he had 80 points this year. So it looks like a really bad trade for them right now. So would he give him? Would, you know, the Hawks be willing to move him for a cut rate price? I'm not sure on that, but I do think, like, he's a super intriguing buy low candidate. He is for sure a player. Like, he's legit a good player, and I do think that that's kind of how they're going to view the cap space. I don't think necessarily they're going to, like, look at the Spetzas of the world taking on players who can't really play anymore. I think that they're going to look for players who are good but overpaid a bit. And Saad definitely kind of fits that model. But, you know, it's super early in the whole process. So we'll see where it ends up. Chicago will be looking to make some kind of moves. They will be looking to shake things up. And that's a team that's, you know, part of the reason that they made that trade was cap space.
Right. So, you know, then to me, just off the top of my head, I look at, you know, you got Saad. There's the Hossa contract there. You know, Berchi needs a contract here. Ben Hutton, you know, they need defensemen. Tanev. Like, yeah, again, I'd like to see this management group get creative. I don't think that they've thought outside the box an awful lot in their 4 years on the job here.
It's such a good point. Like, everything should be on the table. Like, they can't dismiss anything. Like, Berchi, for one. Like, that's a potential. I look at what Tatar got back. Like, get Berchi, put him, try to, you know, get a market going for him. He's still a promising forward with upside, a guy who can count on to score 18 goals, possibly on a really good team, on a good line, could get you a lot more or significantly more than that. Is a decent two-way numbers, some you know, he's had some impressive or at least more than adequate, better than average data behind him over the years. So I would look at him. There's no one I would not look at. When they have the spreadsheet out and they're looking at all these players and what possible moves they can make to shake things up, and their number one priority should be exactly that, like, shake things up. Like, don't come back with the same group depending on these same guys. I think Goldobin could do what Berchi did. You put Goldobin in Berchi's situation, I bet you could score 15 to 18 goals in that. So why not have him play in that spot, and why not try to sell high for once, or high-ish, on a guy like Berchi? Why always, you know, sit on these assets until they really don't have much value anymore? And I'm afraid that that's what they've done with a guy like Ben Hutton.